Wars can be wellsprings of unsolved mysteries and unexplained phenomena on top of all the death, with bizarre, puzzling tales blooming up out of the battle-torn earth. Zombie-like ghouls emerging from no man's land, giant spiders, dinosaurs. Here you have 4 soldiers who caught creepy creatures. Number 4. The werewolf. The werewolf has always been an interesting part of fictional stories and tales dating back to the past. The concept of werewolf actually belongs to European folklore, where it was believed that a man could turn into a wolf during the night and went about killing and eating animals, people, and corpses, returning to his human form during the day. In the old days, there were hundreds of interesting stories that talked about this mysterious creature. It was believed that some men were able to change their shape at will. Others suggested that they inherited this condition after being bitten by one of them. Many others considered that these transformations occurred involuntarily under the influence of the full moon. Throughout the 16th century, the belief in werewolves had spread throughout the world, especially in France. However, over the years, this enigmatic creature limited its appearances to tales and legends. But why? Studies show that people who claim to be werewolf actually suffer from a rare mental disorder called lycanthropy. This is a rare psychiatric condition in which the patient believes that he or she is a wolf or some other non-human animal. Numerous reports have shown that these cases of lycanthropy also occurred several centuries ago, linking these sick people to the concept of werewolf. However, the story changes when someone manages to provide graphic evidence that this is not quite the case, that werewolves do not only belong to folklore, but also to real life. A few years ago, the German History Channel shared a documentary about the war in which anthropology history professor Roman Ehrlichman claimed the existence of these creatures. This message was accompanied by a recording in which a group of German soldiers had caught and killed a real werewolf in 1942, as you can see in the following images. However, there is no evidence to prove its authenticity. The only thing that is known is that the logo at the top of the video, which reads G, Geschichte, and means history, indicates that the video was broadcast by a TV channel that actually exists. If a real werewolf had existed, the press around the world would have echoed the news, and scientific data would have been collected about this event. However, that never happened. Did someone want to cover up this great discovery, or was it just a hoax? Number 3. A prehistoric creature. A few years ago, an old photograph surfacing online kept thousands of people scratching their heads. The picture was taken during the Civil War and is said to show a pteranodon shot by a group of soldiers posing around it. There's been wide skepticism about the authenticity of the picture, but all we can say is that this photograph is authentic, although the real nature of the creature remains unknown. Pteranodon was one of the largest flying reptiles ever known, with a wingspan of more than 20 feet long. They lived during the late Cretaceous, mainly in North America, and since their extinction, no one has ever seen them alive again. However, the photograph in question shows a group of Civil War soldiers posing before camera around what appears like an enormous bird carcass that they apparently killed. Over the years, many people questioned the authenticity of this picture, but to add more to this mystery, there is a second photograph floating on the internet space that is very similar to this one. Here you have it. In the case of both photographs, people suggested that the creature could be a thunderbird, a term used in cryptozoology to describe giant, bird-like creatures generally identified as legendary creatures of Native American lore. But while years later it would be discovered that the second image was only an imitation of the original, a Fox TV Universal Studio prop to promote the TV series Freaky Links, research conducted on the first image revealed that the 19th century photograph was authentic and that the animal that can be seen in it was completely real. What about you? What do you think of this discovery? Number 2. Giant spiders. Camel spiders, also known as wind scorpions, sun spiders, or Egyptian giant solifugid, are not actually spiders, but solifugids, an elusive order of arachnids native to the deserts all over the world. However, this misidentification has not prevented, since the time of the Gulf War between 1990 and 1991, the spread of numerous horror stories related to this creepy arachnid. The truth is that camel spiders became an internet sensation during the 2003 Iraq War, when rumors of their bloodthirsty nature began to circulate on the web. US soldiers deployed in Iraq and Afghanistan started to make public a large number of stories accompanied by photographs supposedly showing spiders half the size of a man, such as this one below, where one of these spiders is trying to devour another one of the same species. For many years, rumors from the Middle East described camel spiders as large as venomous predators, capable of running as fast as humans and with a voracious appetite for large mammals. However, we regret to inform you that these legends are false. Camel spiders do not feed on the stomachs of camels, as has been claimed on more than one occasion, nor do they devour soldiers while sleeping. In addition, they are not as big as they seem, but they are actually terrible predators. The reality is quite different, as these salpugids are only 15 centimeters long and reach a maximum speed of 16 kilometers per hour. So, are they dangerous to humans or not? The answer is no. Camel spiders are not lethal to humans, although, according to the testimony of some soldiers, their bite is quite painful. They are just cruel predators that feed on insects, rodents, lizards, and small birds, thanks to their incredibly large and powerful jaws, which can reach the size of up to a third of their body length. And although these tough desert dwellers are not poisonous, they use their digestive juices to liquefy the flesh of their victims to better absorb their stomach remains. Number 1. Zombies. Another inexplicable account is the strange phenomena of the zombie-like ghouls of the no-man's land of the war. These ghoulish maniacs were said to haunt the empty tracts of a war-torn land between sides, where no one dared to tread, where they prowled about looking for new victims. They were mostly said to be deserters who had wandered off into this crater-blasted wasteland, and these defectors of all nationalities are said to have banded together out in the blood-soaked moonscape of the no-man's land to live underground in dim tunnels, where they went insane and began to emerge to kill, loot, and eat the fallen. Some thought they were not even human at all, but rather some sort of revenants or demons from hell itself. But whatever they were, the end result was always the same. These ghoulish creatures raiding fresh corpses to take their equipment and feast on their flesh, or even by some accounts, attacking and killing soldiers from both sides of the fight. One of the most sensational accounts of these mysterious figures was given in the book The Squadron, and describes the whole platoon of soldiers walking across no man's land, only to be grabbed from below by unseen forces and pulled down one by one as if sucked into the earth itself, in the middle of screams of pain and terror until there was no one left and no sign that anyone had been there at all. It has also been variously reported that the Allied forces took this threat seriously, going so far as to gas the whole area in a bid to kill off the freakish, marauding thugs. From the depths of our darkest, shameful pieces of history, from among the fighting and death, there often spring many such tales of the unexplained. Yet the nature of the untamed chaos of war often makes it difficult to know which are perhaps factual and which are merely the mutated progeny of tired and idle minds consumed, demented and twisted by atrocities and fear. Still, there are many other chilling tales like this, which luckily we can tell. Would you like to know more about them? If so, check out our next video.